Welcome to another measured Kool-Aid Report, and this particular report has me feeling real good right now. And I spoke about this on the final word yesterday. Uh, and this is big. I'm super excited about this because I'm keeping my eye on this very closely, right? So I want to kind of go into a little bit more than what we discussed on the final word. So if you listen to that show, you're going to get more today than what you got on the final word Tuesday. So obviously I'm very happy. Yes, Lord, is what I said. Cowboys offensive lineman Tyler Smith. Just tell me where to go and I'll go. And that's obviously very, very, very big news for us. To hear that this rookie, well, not rookie, this young player, he barely just became drinking age, has that type of unselfishness about him to where he's at this point of his career not worried as much about the money, because everybody knows that tackle is the money position and you started in the money position. But at this point of his career, he's single-mindedly focused on being flexible, and that does not happen. I'm gonna tell you, this is something that you don't get a lot, because talk is cheap, actions talk louder than words. Because see, I remember it was a day, I remember, to where we used to put out ideas. One of the ideas that we put out was moving Lyle Collins to left guard when he was here. And it was because Steele was playing so good at that right tackle. Well, it was a lot of people push back at it. And one of the main pushbacks, they used to say, Lyle does not want to play left guard. He doesn't want to because you make more money at right tackle. Why would he want to do that? And we got a lot of pushback on that. We did. But at that time, we at least want to see it, because Connor Williams was still a penalty magnet at left guard. And at that time, I was pushing for what I believe could have been the best five. Also, let's revisit this with Zach Martin. Remember Zach Martin? People was talking about him playing right tackle. He did, but it was all kind of reports of him like, man, I'm a guard. And he'll tell you himself, I am a guard. So this is not a little thing at all to see a player of this talent willing to do what's best for the team and not for his own pockets. This is a beautiful moment for us. And this shows the love he has for DFW, being a Fort Worth raised athlete. Because we see it all the same. I don't know, people might not know that, but even though Fort Worth and Dallas are different in the Metroplex, we see it the same. Like, we look at each other like brothers. That's why Arlington is in the middle of Fort Worth and Dallas, because to us, it's all DFW. Matter of fact, our news stations are usually saying DFW, even though Dallas is his own city and Fort Worth is his own city. It's almost like what they do up in Washington, where they talk about DMV, Maryland, Virginia, and DC. They see it the same. Even though they separate, they look at him like this is the family. This is the North Texas Metro. That's how we look at it, DFW. So he's showing a lot of love with even the statement and putting it out in the public. So this is fantastic. But see, I want to talk about a couple of more things just as we measure this. Because see, what I didn't talk about is, you know, obviously we talked about what he said, right? So we talked about, you know, just tell me where to go and I'll go. And we know he's a left side player. So what he really was saying is, I'll play left guard if I need to, or I'll play left tackle if I need to. Because it's always been a debate amongst us. Would he be willing to switch? Because we've seen some of our best guys push back. Lyle Collins, Zach Martin. But him, he like, I'm willing. Just whatever go make us win, I'm willing. So just beautiful, just so beautiful. But this also opens up a solution that I talked about from a problem that's obviously coming, right? So we talked about some problems that's coming, and not to beat the dead horse, but it's a lot of problems that's coming. It really is. It's a lot of problems. And see, guard is not nothing to play with. Guard, center, and guard, left guard, center, and guard, that's the closest to your quarterback. And your biggest, most dangerous guys are going to be trying to get after your quarterback, Dak Prescott. And most of these teams have ramped up their ability to get to Dak from the interior. So I'm not sleeping on it at all. I'm very focused on it. So this is something that's a very big deal. Huge deal to see him publicly be the first puzzle to say, I'm willing to do what it takes to fit in this puzzle. I'm willing to be that person that can be counted on to counter the risk that are coming, not might be coming, the risk that is coming for sure. It is for sure that these risks are upon us. And so to see that is just fantastic. But it's also a couple of other things that I didn't talk about. So let me just kind of point to it and we'll kind of get into it. All right. So one of the big things that I didn't point out was what Jerry talked about. We talked about what Tyler spoke about, but we didn't talk about what Jerry talked about. And he's and then so let's kind of go through the article. We're gonna break it down a little bit. And it said Dallas suffered numerous injuries on the offensive line throughout the 2022 season. All right, we know, and that hurt us. We get it. It's typical and could be their fate again in 2023. That's very real what this says, which is why Jerry Jones wants to stay flexible with Smith. So this is the key right here, the flexibility with Smith. See, because some players, they do have the privilege, okay, of being able to sit at a certain position and just become an expert at that position, right? But whenever you dealing with the injury history of Tyron Smith, you have to be flexible, in my opinion. Now, some people, they love to say it's very bad to cross train. You want to have a guy sit and never move. Well, it depends. If it's Zach Martin, yeah, because Zach Martin hardly ever gets injured, right? So if you backing up Zach Martin, yeah, get all your developmental reps at right guard. But when you backing up T. Smith, things can change quickly. So cross training really depends on who you backing up. So that's another subject I'm gonna talk about in the future one day. But kind of going into what Jerry is talking about, because what Jerry talking about is the key. Let's dig into it. So he said, when you get down to the reality of it, we need to be ready for it because we've got a couple on the med. So for people wondering what the med is, I got the definition right here. Repair something that is broken or damaged, right? So just so you know, it's right here. Repair something that is broken or damaged. So that's what he's saying when he say the med. All right, so going back to it, he said we've got a couple on the med. And then Tyron, and you've got to look at what the history has been here. See, that's real. Good insight, Jerry. Very good insight and very true. And then he said, Jones said after the draft, so we need numbers. We need the flex. Then he said, Tyler's shown he can flex. Now, we gonna come back because did he? Yes, he did. He showed not only could he flex, he could super flex. What you mean super flex? He got no reps at left tackle in training camp. He had 1 week to prepare for left tackle. That's crazy. That's crazy. He had 1 week and he did it. Super flex. So he not only showed that he can flex, he showed that he can super flex, because that ain't supposed to happen. I was literally on eggshells. Everybody, calm down, boss. Calm down. It's gonna be okay, boss. It's like, bro, people don't just get thrown out there and be okay, bro. I'm just being honest with you. The only thing that made me feel on the last week before we played Tampa with him playing left tackle is I watched how fast he leaned. I watched how fast he got in shape for left tackle. And when I saw his personal commitment to being prepared, I said, I feel better. That's the only time I released my concern about him playing left tackle at the last minute. But going back to the flex comment, it's another guy that he put in there. He said, but we think Terrence Steele can flex. And a couple of those young guys can flex in there too. See, before the draft, I ain't gonna lie, I was king laughing at that. Like, you couldn't stop me from laughing. Sounded it completely goofy when we first heard that. Just goofy. Completely goofy. But see, that was before the draft. Now it's after the draft. See, it's one thing to be confident before the draft that we go put a nice little quality starter grade up and coming youngster at that left guard. And I got plenty of names that I felt good about that could have came in here and I felt that they could have competed for the starting job. I had at least 7 that I felt could do it. Now, I knew we would have to be aggressive to go get some of those guys. Some of those guys we actually didn't have to be aggressive. We could just sat there, but we passed it. So that definitely says that they want to try to solve this from the inside. So when you look at them bringing up Steele, see, we start talking about that because, see, at first, like I said, it was laughter. It was funny. It was ha, 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 ha. Still at guard. Shut up. It's no way that they're serious. But shit. Now when you look at who coming, it ain't too funny no more.
Bring real back. He be speaking his mind. That boy with the shit.
Yeah, so it's something that at this point, when you look at the potential killers that's coming, we got to consider it. The flex possibility. We have to consider it because it's multiple options that we talked about on this channel from the gap at left guard. And what nobody is really talking about is when it's still coming back. I don't care about him being ahead of schedule. First tell me the original schedule, and then that's going to tell me should we be concerned or not. Now, if y'all had him projected to come back around September, okay, he being ahead of schedule sounds good. But if you projected him to come back in December, well, shit, that tells me this backup plan better be solid. So we looked at all the options. Chuma, we heard Ball. Collins is not even discussed. Then you got Forniak, so yeah. So I know a lot of people have been saying, boss, come on, boss. What you worried about? Every team has holes. San Fran, they don't have a perfect line. It's like, I hear you. See, it's a difference between not having a bunch of first rounders, but let's kind of look at this logically. Do we remember Chaz Green? He was amongst 3 All-Pros. And we know what happened with that. We know what happened with that. If it's any job that you say you're not as good as your weakest link, it's that offensive line. So the typical, we're going to be okay. Don't worry about it. I think we should take a closer look and be very serious about this. Like, I think we should take a very close look at this, because Chuma, we checked out his film. We already did a film breakdown on him. It wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. The only thing about him is injury history and some technical issues, which the OC did a good job of breaking down. So y'all check out that video. Then Ball. We don't know nothing about this. We have nothing. We know nothing about Ball inside. So that's a mystery. We already saw Fournier. He was young, so he might get his year 2 game, but you can't be confident from year 1. You just can't, in my opinion. You can't be confident with this plan. It'll be wait and see on this plan. So what you left with is what they discussed. Some flexibility between Tyler Smith, Terrence Steele. Now, I don't care how you do it. Do it however you want to. Argue with whoever you want to. I don't care how they do it. But this best 5 some kind of way got to make sense. The only one that I'm concerned about, I hear this idea sometime. I heard some people say, why don't we just move Tyron Smith to left tackle? Well, I see it a little bit different. The problem with moving Tyron Smith to left tackle is whenever you see Tyron Smith, I don't see Tyron Smith. I see Matt Lewesko. That's who I see because of his injury history, if you know what I'm saying. If you look, I'm not saying that Tyron is going to get hurt. I don't want to project that. I don't want to speak that over him. If we look at history, we have to at least prepare for it. So if I'm looking at Tyron Smith, I'm looking at Matt. So, and I don't want Matt in my plans protecting my quarterback's blind side. So all of my options, I always start with Tyron Smith on the right. That's just me. Now, if you think different, put your comment in the description explaining why. We might even let you on the show to debate me on it. I'm cool with that. We just trying to figure this out all together. All ideas I'm cool with. Let's just talk it through. Let's go through the pros. Let's go through the cons. But all of my plans start with Tyron Smith on the right. Every one of them. Because I'm already seeing likely it's going to be Matt Lewesko. That's just how I envision it based on history. So the bottom left is where you can see the plan of med, where Tyron Smith is in the med box. And if he's in the med box anytime during the season, I would take a combination of the left being Tyler Smith or Terrence Steele, or they can switch. I don't care. But that would be the best 5 in my opinion. So, I want to definitely go over this because this is big. It's not only the flex plan of Tyler, it's the flex plan of Terrence Steele that I'm all the way open to, that I actually really want to see. So I want to get y'all thoughts on this. I want to get y'all thoughts in the comment box. This is the show that I really want. Well, the video. This is the Measure Kool-Aid Report that I want y'all to contribute. I want you to put your top 5, assuming first Steele is out, and then what you gonna do when Steele is back. And I want to get y'all thoughts on the flex plan. And let's just talk about it. Because I want to keep the light on this left guard. I want to keep it on it. Because I do know that the risks are coming. It's not that it's not coming. These risks are coming. It's unavoidable. It's coming. It's no way to get around. And they're coming for your quarterback. It's just what it is. They are coming. And we have no time for no Chaz Greens. Shout out to Chaz Green. But we have no time for the Chaz Greens. We don't. Because all you need is one Chaz Green, and it could wreck your season. It could wreck your season. If any position correct your season, it's that offensive line. So we gonna keep our eyes on this. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Don't get out of here without hitting that like. That's super important that we continue to be top on hitting those likes. That's how we continue to grow on this channel, is by y'all supporting with the likes. It's what grows us. And also hit that sub button if you like this type of content. You could also do it on Facebook. So either way, man, it's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter, and y'all stay up.